Rev up your engines!
Well, here we go. It's no surprise. Nissan, with bad sales and problems and mergers, they're trying absolutely anything to sell their cars. They're now at the bottom of the barrel. They haven't learned nothing from the past, and they have committed themselves to subprime lending. The normal financing won't finance cars to people with bad credit, right? But that's not going to stop Nissan from selling them cars. And I'm not making this up. The name of their program is Signature Access Subprime Dual Pass-Through Program. They're sending the customers to one of these subprime loaners. You know, the shysters, the loan sharks. They're going to be selling cars to people that have bad credit that shouldn't be getting a car in the first place by setting them up with these subprime lenders. Now, the companies they're using are called Santander Consumer USA and Global Lending Services. If you check the Better Business Bureau ratings of these companies, you'll see that Santander sits at 1.08 out of 5 stars, and Global Lending Services is 1.02 out of 5 stars. They have all kinds of complaints about them, predatory lending, all this stuff. Well, Nissan's now partnered up with these people in the United States because they'll do anything to sell their cars. They don't care. It reminds me of guys years ago, they were going around and they were finding bums on the street and they were buying insurance policies on them, hoping that the bums would kick out, and then they are the ones that were the people that would get the money from the insurance policy if the people died. I mean, these are predatory lenders, and Nissan is ponying up to these people because they'll do anything to sell their cars. This is the last-ditch effort of something a large corporation should not be doing. Why would a big corporation partner with these subprime lenders with such low ratings? 1.08, 1.02 out of 5 stars from the Better Business Bureaus. And if anything gives a decent rating, it's a Better Business Bureau because it's not affiliated. They don't get paid money for rating. It's just people that have problems go to the Better Business Bureau and say, hey, these people did this to me, they did that to me, they do a little research, and they give them a bad rating. Nissan's partnering up with these guys, so I guess I got to give them kudos that they won't give up. They'll do absolutely anything to sell their junky cars to people, including dealing with corporations that are predatory lenders with really bad ratings to the consumers. So, now here's one I can't resist. It's absolutely unbelievable and hilarious at the same time. Dodge is now offering a software update to help stop Charger and Challenger thefts. People are stealing them all the time because they're super fast cars, right? I mean, if a kid wants a fast car to steal, they're going to steal the Challenger and the Chargers with those Hellcat V8 engines. Some of them have over 700 horsepower. Now, of course, Chrysler's owned by Stellantis, and Stellantis originally came up with a real baloney response to having their car stolen. And I quote, Stellantis vehicles meet or exceed all applicable federal safety standards. Further, Stellantis uses industry standard technology. Notwithstanding, we urge all motorists to take due care in securing their vehicles. Well, after that came out, soon after, now they say they're going to have a software update that's a double security system. And what it's going to do, V8 engines, is it's going to limit them to 675 RPM to help prevent auto theft. Now, this was a dual system because not only will they give the idea that, hey, the thing isn't running, I won't steal it. If people do steal it, and a lot of them are stolen and then they're involved in high-speed chases with that 700-something horsepower, this will limit them to a very slow speed. The software will limit it to only, and I'm not making it up, less than 3 horsepower instead of 700-something horsepower. It will have 2.8 horsepower and 22 pound-feet of torque. So, if you're driving down the road and you see a Charger or a Challenger, you might know it's a stolen car, that somebody's trying to steal it. Now, it's not out yet. They say they're going to have this software update the second quarter of 2021, so it will be coming up, and it will limit all the horsepower. I think it's kind of hilarious. If you do steal one of these things, it's only going to go 3 miles an hour, and they have 2.8 horsepower. So, like I said, if you just see a Challenger or Charger going really slow, somebody might be stealing it. But that's not going to happen until the second quarter of 2021. So if you see one going really slow now, it just means that it broke of its own accord, and it's not a software deal to keep people from stealing them. Tom Phillip 321 says, I got an 06 Honda Odyssey, 150,000 miles. It never had the transmission fluid changed. Is it safe to change it now? Or should I do it a bit at a time? All right, here's the thing. Odysseys have had a history of problems with their automatic transmissions. Doesn't matter what you do to them, they often break on those older ones. But what you want to do would be just drain and fill. Maybe 3-4 quarts, whatever comes out, pump new stuff back in. Don't flush it, don't change it, just change it a little bit at a time. And I would do that maybe every 15,000 miles now to try to make it last. But don't be surprised if it breaks on its own, because those are notorious for having problems. Now, you didn't say if you're the original owner or not. If you're not the original owner, it very well could have a second transmission in it. Honda got a lot of free ones that they gave people because so many of those broke. And if it's got the new one, they don't have the problems that the old one had. So maybe do a VIN check. Call up the dealer with your VIN number and say, has this transmission been replaced under warranty? And they'll tell you. They have to by law, and if they had, great. And then just change it now, and then maybe every 30,000 miles after that. It's not rocket science. You just take the drain plug, drain it out, put it back in. Whatever comes out, put new fluid in, and go that route. But do get your VIN number checked with the dealer, because it might have a new transmission in it. They replaced a lot of them free. OCB paper says I got a 2004 VW with 150,000 kilometers. I bought in 2018. It loses coolant when I drive. Not much in the city. The temperature's okay, and it never goes below minimum. Refilling a little bit helps it. But when I drive a longer distance on the highway, it loses coolant faster, going well below minimum after a 1,200 kilometer drive. What I'd advise you to do, have your cooling system pressure tested. It could be your water pump is starting to go out, and at higher speeds it spins a lot faster, and it could start to leak faster. Have it pressure tested. If the pump's leak, replace the pump. Now if it isn't leaking, unfortunately, you probably have a head gasket that's starting to go bad. When they start to go bad, highway speeds, you're going faster. At higher speed, it's going to leak for it, it's going to burn it. So you want to do my video. How to tell if your head gasket is blown, Scotty. Type that in YouTube, Google search, and watch my video, and you'll find you can get a little test tube from Amazon for 30 bucks, and you can test it yourself if you want. It's a very simple test. When the blue goes yellow, it means that there's carbon dioxide in your radiator, which means there's something wrong inside the engine, which is a minimum of a head gasket. Now, since it doesn't do it much, you might try some of these head gasket sealers. A lot of times they can help when it's that small of a leak. Roy Hines says, Scotty, what are your thoughts on the new Lucid Motors electric cars? In my opinion, they look better than Tesla. Can they match Tesla's technology? Thanks. Well, now, come on. Electric cars, they're not a complex principle. You got a battery and electric motors. Pretty simple. Now, Tesla puts all these bells and whistles and make them like rocket ships, you know what I mean? Because they get carried away. And anybody who's going to pay that kind of money for a car wants all this fancy bell and whistle. And there are a lot of high-tech guys, they want it, so they go and get it. Who knows what kind of quality they're going to put out? You won't know until they've been out. And if you've been following me over any length of time, you'll know I say, wait. Always wait. If a company's been out, wait till the car model has been out 4 or 5 years. Then you can see the history of it. You never know. I've even seen Toyotas that I thought, hey, that's a great idea. And then you find 5 years later, they're all breaking. So you wait 4 or 5 years. Always wait. Don't buy new technology. You never know. What if you buy a Lucid motor car for a whole bunch of money and the company goes bankrupt, then you can't get any parts for it? Big mistake. Let somebody else try it out before you buy something. Who knows if it's going to hold up? The company might not even exist after a period of time. Always wait. And anyway, in my opinion, wait on electric cars anyways. Nobody knows which battery is going to do. Are they going to be hydrogen fuel cell cars? Are they going to be battery electric cars? Are they going to be combo? No one knows yet. Wait on electric cars. If you got brains. Wing 7 and 9 says, hey, I got an 06 Chevy Colorado, 3.64 by 4, 115,000 miles. I changed my oil and it smelled of gasoline. The oil's black and thick and my transmission feels to be slipping between 50 and 65. I do the repairs or buy a new truck. With that transmission going out, price what a rebuild costs. You're going to have to get it rebuilt. That's when they generally start to fall apart. When they get 115, 120,000 miles, generally the transmissions start to go out. That's going to cost thousands and thousands and thousands. If you really want a nice truck, it's going to last forever, forget Chevrolet. Car said, why does my coolant temperature go up and down? I changed the thermostat. It never did that before I changed the thermostat. And now it has a code for coolant fan control short to ground. Numero uno. If it never did that before you changed the thermostat, you probably got a crappy thermostat. Thermostats stay closed when the engine's cold. As it warms up, they get open. If yours keeps going up, down, odds are the thermostat isn't working right and it's staying open too much. You wouldn't notice in the summer because it would get hot anyways, but it's not that hot in most places now. So it's staying open too much, which makes it cold. But that has nothing to do with the coolant controls short to ground. I would say, from my experience, your temperature sensor for the computer, many cars have more than one temperature sensor, but the one on yours that gives the information to the computer has probably gone bad because that code is for the circuitry of the cooling fans, and those cooling fans come on and off by the coolant temperature sensor that tells the computer the temperature, so it knows when to turn the fans on. So generally, I'd replace that. Now, you could have a wiring short. You could even have a computer circuit driver inside the computer that's gone bad. Normally, though, it's just the switch that controls it. So I would change that now. I also would go and buy a factory thermostat. If you bought it at a discount auto parts store, they're often crap. Buy a factory one and change that switch. That should fix the whole thing. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.